everybody. So I have some new journals that I'm going to be showing you, and I'm putting them in my Etsy shop. So these four are all very, very, very similar. I'll kind of just do like a brief, I'll open each one of them and just kind of like show you briefly what's in each one. These are made with little wooden boards, and I decoupaged on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a silent walkthrough and with some music going so you can kind of see what the journal looks like. But if you want a walkthrough where I talk about how I made it and what's going on, then after the silent walkthrough I grab a different journal and we go through that and I explain that one in a lot more detail. So I hope you enjoy these walkthroughs, and I'll leave a timestamp down below if you don't want to do the music one and you want to just go through the one with me talking. So yes, each one has these little metal pieces on the front, the book corners, and the little tab where it says journal. And so every single one of them has the wooden journal cover, and they are all sewn together. So here we go. I'm going to do a silent flip through, and then again talk about it a little later on in the video, timestamp down below. Hope you enjoy, and let me know what you think. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Okay, I'm going to go through a little bit more detailed walkthrough. I just grabbed another one. So the first thing I did is, on this, is I got all of my papers together. All of the grungy papers together that I wanted to get together. And I wanted to make them look really grungy. So I would put them in how I kind of would want them, you know, in certain papers that I would want to stick out. So like I wanted this to show, you know, and then maybe a little bit of that right there looks really good. And then we got this down here, and I like that. So I would just put things together. When I put this page on, I knew I was going to put this what is this called? A pocket with hidden writing space. I wanted to put that there, and then I have this just a whole bunch of clustered pages that I put together to make like a little you know, paper pad that you can write off and either write on the back or use as ephemera and things like that. So basically when I do that, and you can see that even as the book is closed here, you can see all of these pieces, and that is how I started. I started with creating the signatures, and then once I had the signatures of all of them, and actually how I went about that is, for the most part, I went through all of my old papers and just grabbed old signatures that I didn't use. So you might see some things in here that I will not be linking down below because I absolutely have no idea where they came from. So I do apologize for that. But so the first things first is, on this I got my papers together. And then the second thing I did is that I knew I was going to use these wooden boards. And what these are, let me grab one real fast. So I have a Cricut machine, and I thought that it would use, and I know it can because I've seen it before, and cut wood. And so I bought these wood slats, and I've got a deep blade, but for some reason it's just not working for me, so I just have to figure it out. But I've had these for a while, just kind of sitting in my craft room, and they're wood, but you know, they're really papery thin, sort of. And I just thought, you know, it'd be great to decoupage and make journal covers out of these. But again, I wanted them smaller than the journal because I want you to see everything sticking out. So I just kind of measured it where I wanted it. And then I got the papers that I wanted, and I have rice paper, and I printed some of these digitals that I bought off Etsy. I printed them onto my rice paper and then decoupaged onto these wood slats, and then inked up the sides. I put lace on the outside of them, and then I put paper from my 12 by 12 paper pad on the opposite side. And that's how I did the front and back covers of each journal. And, you know, I didn't focus as much on what the pages in the back look like, but they still look pretty good. So they are both the same. And then of course I added some lace to be able to tie the book together. And then I added 3 pieces of cloth from an old bedding that I have coffee dyed, and I sewed it along the book, or I'm sorry, glued it along the book here, and that would have been my spine. And then I measured where my holes were going to be, and then I put those holes in each signature, and was able to then sew in with a 3-bind stitch into each one of these. And that's how it was made. And then I went in and added pockets and flips, which is a little backwards from what I normally do, but you know, it worked out pretty good. So basically how I put the signatures together, here's an old, very old
receipt, I'm assuming from 1936. I got these really old things off of Etsy, and I just love them, but I hardly ever use them, so I wanted to make sure to start putting them in there. And just so you see how I used my 12 by 12 paper, and then of course I had some left over that I used for pockets and things like that. Just made, you know, from file folders, just little ephemera. And these are more for you to decorate and to make some really amazing things, or to gesso and write on, which is one of my favorite things to do. Gesso, write, add color, add pictures, things like that. They come with pockets. I made a lot of pockets out of book pages, and sometimes I'll just start grabbing a book page and just fold it in weird ways, and whatever it ends up as, it makes a pocket. So this one has a pocket here, one here, and then one over to the side here, and it has ephemera and, you know, grungy pages for you to make your own really neat designs if you wish. And then I also made a few of these. This is in every single one of the journals. There's I made an envelope out of some Tim Holtz 12 by 12 paper pad. On the other side, I put a piece of vellum. It looks pretty neat. You just can add whatever you want in these, and it looks pretty cool. But those are definitely in all the journals as well. And, you know, it's just basically putting, you know, some grungy papers together and old receipts and digitals, and then grunging them up. And here's another one from 1933. Here is another pocket that I made from the 12 by 12 paper pad. It also has hidden writing space, and this one you can do on either side. There's like little pockets on each side. Okay. And these old papers, you know, I've boiled and coffee dyed and rust dyed and so many different things. And on this looked like a 12 by 12 paper pad or some kind of patterned paper, but there's also a receipt on the back of it, so whatever it was on transferred on that, and I just love the look of that. But yeah, these all came out really good. There's pockets and decorations throughout. Sometimes I like when all the pages match, and sometimes I like when there's little ones and big ones and all different kinds, just doing its own thing. There's clusters throughout that I made. I mass made a whole bunch of clusters and used them through here. Again, adding different ephemera or things for decorations. This is a belly band, and I learned, I want to say this was Louisa Heinzel had inspired me to make a belly bands like this in a way, and I just really think it came out cute, and I enjoy it, and it's pretty good on this page. And again, I have another one of those cluster pads on here. This right here, I was so lucky. So I live in Arizona, and I went to the gem show, and there was this old paper. I'm sure, you know, because here in Tucson, they do a worldwide gem show every year, if you've never heard of it. And people from all over the world come here every year. And this is newspapers that were flying around in different languages that I just needed to have for my junk journals. So pieces of that are on here as well. And I just thought that was a great find, flying through the air during the gem show. So, yep, there's different pieces there. Really grungy papers. Oh, nothing's in there. Let's see if we can't find something we can put in there. Bring this to pocket. I don't like one in this pocket. Let's see here. I'm wish I had something long. That's gonna fall in there. Maybe. I'll get a couple of these too. Hopefully it'll stay up. There we go. And there's that paper again with that on the back. Let's see. I don't see a date on this one, but this one's an old one too. And it's a digital and just some grungy papers. Again, more book pages. I just folded up. I bought homemade paper and I added some of those in here. So there's pretty good writing space. And then when you get, when you get pages like this, then, whatever, like if you want to add something, you just kind of glue it onto that. Cut like a tab and then it'll make your own page. And you can do it on each side. So you have 2 extra pages, or 4 if you count front and back. And you can add it to pages like that. Here's another pocket with hidden writing space. Almost glued it together. Another cluster and a little tag. More pockets and clusters. Here's what can we put in there? Something really good. Let's see what I got. Here's another booklet I can put right in there. Will it fit? Oh no, nope, it doesn't fit. Can't use that one. Let's see. We'll put this in for now, and then we'll come back to it. Another place where you can add your own paper. And there's the end of the journal. And I just made them all basically the same. Putting my papers together first. So you can see all different kinds just sticking out here and there. Oh, I love this one. I'm just going to show you this one. We won't go through everything, but I'll show you that. Don't we love her? I know I do. I feel like I got this digital with these pictures from Louisa Heinzel as well. If y'all don't know, she's one of my favorites. So these are my new journals going up in my Etsy shop. And I really, really hope that you like them. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye.